For centuries, the very name of Rome evoked an image of enduring power, sophisticated law, and unparalleled organization. Across a vast empire, Roman roads connected distant lands, and Roman legions maintained a formidable peace. At the heart of this intricate system was its currency, the dependable denarius, a silver coin that facilitated trade, paid soldiers, and symbolized the state's unwavering authority. But even the mightiest empires, built on the foundations of human trust and ingenuity, can be brought low by a series of quiet, seemingly minor decisions that, over time, erode the very fabric of their stability. This is the story of how an economic mistake, subtle at first, began to unravel the Roman world, leaving a profound lesson for all who seek lasting prosperity. Our journey takes us deep into the heart of the Roman Empire, particularly from the 3rd century AD. This was a time of immense pressure. The empire was colossal, stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia, and its borders were constantly under threat from various external forces. Maintaining such a vast enterprise, with its numerous legions, administrative apparatus, and ambitious building projects, required immense resources. Initially, Rome's currency was highly valued, backed by a significant amount of precious metal. The denarius, for instance, began its life with a high silver content, instilling confidence in its worth. It was a tangible asset, a promise from the state that its value would remain true. However, the relentless demands on the imperial treasury began to mount. Paying soldiers, constructing defenses, and funding public works became increasingly expensive. Rather than imposing unpopular new taxes or significantly reducing expenditures, a different, seemingly less painful solution began to take hold: debasement. This was the process of reducing the precious metal content of coins while maintaining their face value. Initially, a denarius might be almost pure silver. Over time, successive emperors, facing financial strain, would order the mints to gradually reduce the silver content, adding cheaper base metals like copper or lead. A new coin, like the Antoninianus, was introduced, supposedly worth 2 denarii, but it contained far less silver than 2 actual denarii. At first, this strategy could create a temporary illusion of financial solvency. Mori coins could be minted from the same amount of precious metal, seemingly increasing the available funds. But this practice, insidious in its simplicity, began to chip away at something far more valuable than silver: trust. People, especially merchants and soldiers, began to notice. The new coins felt different, looked different, and when tested, proved to be less valuable than their predecessors. The promise implicit in every coin, that its worth was genuine and enduring, was being broken by the very institution that issued it. As the silver content plummeted, so too did the real purchasing power of the currency. This set in motion a powerful, destructive economic force known as inflation. With more and more coins chasing the same amount of goods and services, prices began to rise, not just steadily, but with increasing speed. A bushel of grain that once cost a few denarii might now require dozens, then hundreds, and eventually thousands of the debased coins. Imagine holding your life savings in what you believed to be valuable currency, only to wake up each morning to find its purchasing power significantly diminished. This wasn't a sudden theft, but a slow, grinding erosion of wealth and security. The impact on ordinary Romans was profound. Farmers, artisans, and small business owners found their profits devoured by rapidly increasing costs. Soldiers who risked their lives for the empire found their wages, paid in increasingly worthless coins, could barely buy food for their families. This led to widespread discontent and a severe loss of morale. In an attempt to cope, many people reverted to older forms of exchange. Barter, directly trading goods and services, became more common, as trust in the imperial currency evaporated. Why accept flimsy coins when you could trade your grain directly for a tool or your pottery for some wool? This fragmented the economy, making large-scale trade and efficient tax collection incredibly difficult. The state itself suffered deeply. It struggled to collect taxes effectively, as citizens, seeing their coins devalued, were reluctant to part with them or had little left to give. It became harder to pay the legions, secure supplies, or maintain public infrastructure. The vast network of Roman roads, once meticulously maintained, began to fall into disrepair, hindering trade and military movements. The grand institutions that had held the empire together found their foundations cracking under the weight of a currency that no one truly believed in anymore. The breaking point was not a single event, but a prolonged period of intense destabilization throughout the 3rd century AD, often referred to as the crisis of the 3rd century. During this tumultuous era, the Roman Empire saw an unprecedented number of emperors rise and fall, often at the hands of their own legions, who were increasingly disgruntled by their meager, devalued pay. The economic chaos contributed directly to political instability, as a struggling population and dissatisfied army were fertile ground for rebellion and usurpation. The empire, though not yet formally divided, began to fracture into semi-independent parts, each struggling with its own financial woes and military threats. Though later emperors like Diocletian would attempt drastic reforms, including price controls and a return to more stable coinage, the damage to public trust and economic coherence had been deeply done. The imperial system, once so robust, had been fundamentally weakened from within. The story of Rome's currency debasement stands as a powerful testament to the fragile nature of economic stability and the profound importance of trust. Money is more than just metal or paper. It is a promise, a symbol of value, and a cornerstone of faith in a governing system. When that promise is broken, when the value of money is allowed to erode, the consequences can ripple through every layer of society, destabilizing economies, undermining institutions, and leaving a lasting mark on the human experience. The echo of Rome's economic missteps serves as a timeless reminder that maintaining the integrity of currency is not merely a financial decision, but a fundamental act of preserving a nation's prosperity and the trust of its people.